So when he did approach you, I'm speaking to Robert now. When Robert did approach you to be a judge for this, what was your first reaction?
I mean, I knew a little bit about what he was going to be doing, but I had no hesitation, to tell you the truth. I mean, I had to stop and think, am I really qualified to do this? But when I heard there were going to be four others doing it with me, and all of us were from very different backgrounds,
Yes.
I felt that, the combined focus of all these different backgrounds would be really a great mix to do this. I had no hesitation because I was so excited about the project. And I trusted Robert, and I was enthusiastic about it. Yeah.
I can imagine. After reading your resume and doing a little research on your background and also reading your book, I'm thinking, shucks, Leslie could have applied for this this big prize. You could have easily, I think, come up with a good essay for this.
That's the only downside, is that I don't get to compete. But I'm already doing this work, and the point of it is to draw new people into it. So I'm very happy to just leave that door open for other people. And I think I can make a better contribution as a judge. So I'm happy to be doing that.
Right. And you don't necessarily know the other judges?
I do. I have known two of them before because we're colleagues. I mean, we're just colleagues. Our work has intersected and we've communicated over the years. Right. Two of the other judges I had never met before this. But we have a good synergy, all five of us.
And Robert told me this morning that he is looking for agreement from three of the five on the top three prizes. So I imagine you and the other judges will have to collaborate and communicate quite a bit towards the end.
We definitely will. And I hope that we have unanimous decisions, but that's why it's important that the number be five. You can't have like four, because you could have a tie.
Right.
So I think five's the perfect number. And we're going to be reading a lot and discussing a lot. So I hope we can come to consensus as a group.
Has he given you much direction yet as to how he'd like you to, so to speak, grade these essays?
He really hasn't. I think, I'm sure we'll be in conversation with him when we get the essays, but I think he just wants us five to be in communication and discussion among ourselves and just talk about it and discuss it and see how it affects each of us. And no, we haven't really had any specific rules about how to do it. We'll see when we get there.
I can tell he's very excited about this project. He tells me that they've gotten a number of great applications already. Have you heard of any, or have you seen any work yet?
I haven't seen anything yet, but I've been told that we've gotten quite a few great applications, like you just said. And so we're off to a really good start. People still have till the end of February to apply to participate. So we may even get more. We're very happy with the way it's going so far. Yeah.
And you've seen the rules. I asked him, I said, did you have a team of lawyers concoct these rules? And he goes, no, I wrote them up myself.
I think Robert's very experienced at this kind of thing. He's had other organizations. He's an executive in an aerospace company. And I think this is probably something that's pretty easy for him to figure out how to construct.
Yeah, he's quite accomplished, no question. I started getting into a little bit of the arguments behind this. And he finally said, Dave, you don't have to convince me. I know, there's life after death. But I want to advance this idea and refresh it, because obviously centuries of thought have tackled this idea already. And he thinks it's stilted or stagnant or needs to be prodded, so that he is offering, obviously, $1 million is going to get attention, right?
It will definitely. This should get attention because of the sizes of the prizes. I agree with you. And I also am totally behind his goal of stimulating research of this, as bringing more focus to it, and also taking away whatever kind of stigma there might be. Because, some academics in certain fields might feel that it's just not taken seriously enough. And I think this is going to elevate the whole thing. So I stand totally behind the goals that he has and the rest of the group has.
Well, I mean, you've got a spectrum from atheists to rigid religionists to philosophers you've got people who are wide open to it, and others who it threatens their foundation. So I think also he's hoping to just break open a little more understanding about this topic. Would you agree?
Yeah, break open understanding so that more people will have access to it, because these essays are going to be made available, and maybe some of the other essays will be made available too. So it's not just about increasing research, but it's also about exposing people to what evidence there is. And it can, the applicants can be from any area just it's such a wide open field of
Mhm.
what's required for people to participate. It's not just limited to academics or scientists, but it's inviting a whole range of people to contribute to the, to participate. So I think that's a really good thing as well.
There might even be another book in this. Who knows?
Yeah.
I tried to float the idea, and I just threw this out there to him, that maybe there are things in this world that we either are not meant to know or cannot know because of our limitations as humans. Um, and he said, fine, if that's the case, then we're still going to advance at least that topic. How do you feel about that line of reasoning?
Yeah, I mean, I really do think there's never going to be any proof. I mean, hard proof that there's an afterlife. I think the point of this is to bring out the best suggestive evidence, which is the way I framed it in my book. There's a lot of evidence that's highly suggestive of the fact that consciousness, certainly we know it can function independently of the brain, but whether it survives death, there's a lot of evidence suggesting that, but I don't think we're ever going to have 100% proof. And maybe it is better that there are some things we don't know. We can't nail everything down. There's a lot of mystery in the world.
The exact word I used when I asked him, I said, doesn't it kind of bring a little more spice to life to not know everything, that there some mystery to life enhances your experience of it?
Yeah, I mean, no matter what evidence we are provided in this contest, there will always be mystery because
Mm-hmm.
we're not going to prove it. There will be fantastically suggestive, really provocative evidence suggestive of this reality, but there's still going to be mystery. And also when you have one body of information, I've learned this in my own research, it opens up the questions. So sometimes the more you know, the more questions you have. The mystery doesn't go away.
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of a closet archaeologist, and every time somebody comes up with a new discovery, they have to rearrange their whole theory of time and chronology, and they think they've got it set in stone, and then something comes along and just blows it out of the water. Is that the possibility that something here might come up that will just make us all rearrange our idea of consciousness?
Yeah, I mean, this could revolutionize our ideas of consciousness. It's hard to say, and I think that there are many scientists who can't accept a lot of the things that we already know actually happen,
Right.
just because it doesn't fit into the model that they have of everything being based in the physical world and how the physical world is supposed to work. So the more evidence that we can bring forward of alternative realities or things happening that can't be explained but actually do happen, it's going to shake up the scientific world. It's going to shake up our understanding of the reality that we live in. So that can be a significant thing.
I mentioned to Robert the book by Eben Alexander, Proof of Heaven. Are you familiar?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that book. A neurosurgeon, has a powerful testimony, and Robert agrees that the testimony or evidence that people have witnessed is very powerful, but again, not 100%. And yet, he's not allowing for quotation of scripture. That seems to me a little uh, contradictory.
Well, I mean, scripture is not personal experience. It's, the faith. It's somebody's
Yeah.
faith, as I understand it. So I think that the way to approach this topic is a combination of personal experience with research. And that's what I've done in my book. And I had a number of
Mhm.
experiences happen to me that I didn't anticipate would happen. So I think, yeah, I mean, I think witnessing something and, especially when there are more than one witness and having experiences that you can't explain
Mhm.
should be taken seriously.
Right.
And they're going to be brought into this. And I agree with him that those are important, those experiences, especially when a lot of people are having the same kinds of experiences. Like you mentioned, even
Yes.
Alexander, there are so many people that have had what we call near death experiences.
Exactly.
So it becomes evidential when you have a mountain of evidence and you have, medical doctors studying it in hospitals and all kinds of data, as well as the testimonies of individual people. The combination is what's really powerful.
Yeah, and the word I was talking with Robert about this morning was the preponderance of data. You start hearing the same story enough times, and then it becomes hard to refute.
Exactly. When you hear a story over and over and over again from all different parts of the world, and there are characteristics within it that are similar, and these people don't know each other. So it's
Mhm.
just, yeah, it's like it's any other collection of data. You want to look at what the similarities are, among the experiences, and they can be really striking.
But we live in a world where scientific results are very important, maybe overly important. I don't know, but that's why Robert has begun this essay, this contest, with the idea that it has to be based on scientific process, scientific methods, and that's smart in this case, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the essay contest needs to, be based on some kind of solid scientific, intellectual approach. But that doesn't mean that it can't incorporate personal experiences or events that have been witnessed by a group of people. I mean, there's a whole list of kinds of people and experiences that can be included in this contest. So, yes, a scientific, rigorous approach, but it also means that anomalies are going to be in there, and you can be as rigorous as you can about those things, but they're going to have this other quality of not being able to be defined and pinpointed. And it's a matter of how you put it all together. I think that's the challenge.
The presentation, yeah, it's just, yeah, in many cases going to be so hard to measure, and what measuring stick do you use? And right.
That's why you need 5 people to weigh in on it, because
That's
it's
right.
not simple. And I'm really excited to read these essays.